I don't know what in the world happened, but I'm back. All right, mic check 1, 2, 3, 4. I got disconnected for some reason, so I'm gonna give everybody about 3 more minutes to get started. For those I've never met, my name is Brian Bean, founder of Mentor to Millions, and this is webinar number 4 of 4. So if you guys do me a big favor and let me know that I can be heard by typing in the words "let's go," and I'll be ready to rock and roll with you guys in less than 2 minutes. 2 minutes and count. Sorry about the mishap. If you could do me a favor and type in the comments, "let's go." David said, "let's go." That means I can be heard. Markeisha, sorry about the hang up. I see you guys coming back in. Fee Oliver says, "hey, everybody from Chicago. I appreciate it." Rodney's in the building. Rodney Watson, I see you. I appreciate it. Jay the plug says, "let's go." I appreciate it. What's up, Carlos? So you guys can obviously hear me. I'm ready to rock and roll, man. I appreciate everybody for jumping on. I'm sorry about the mishap and the hang up. Let me give everybody a quick recap while we log back in here tonight. I want people to realize that the reason I do these income shifting experiences and these income shifting concepts is because I am dead serious about the fact that there's no reason in the world most Americans should be struggling. And I've been there. The reason most Americans struggle is really one thing, and it's lack of education, right? Wealthy people have a certain discussion at their dinner table that people who don't have money just don't have that same discussion at their dinner table. So what happens is, just like recipes, things are passed down from generation to generation to generation. So what I want to do is I've spent the past 4 days giving away a free keynote address called Millionaire Mentality, just to get you guys to wake up and understand that your wealth, believe it or not, it doesn't start in your pockets. It actually starts up here first. The wealth begins up here. So when you realize that wealth and work are not synonymous, and when you start realizing that money has to work for you, and we start realizing that the future really is now. It's not when you're 65. It's not when you're 72. You don't have to wait on the government or anybody to tell you when to retire. The future is now. So I want you guys to understand, you don't have to put what age you'll be. Do me a favor in the comments. Let me see who I'm talking to. And just put the number of years left before you would like to retire. Just give me a number. You might say 3. You might say 10. You might say 5. You might say 30. That means you're really, really young. But just put the number of years left. If it were up to you, how many years are left before you walk off your job? And I'm going to show you guys tonight, you're not as far away from your goals as you think. They just look really, really, really far because most people haven't set any. Okay? Once you set some, you'll say to yourself, man, I'm not as far off as I think. So do me a favor and put in the comments how many years, if you had it your way, how many years before you actually fired your boss and stepped down? Kayla said, I'll be out of there in 3 years. I heard that. All right? Valencia says, I'll be out of there in 6. Joey says, I'll be out of there in 1. All right, cool. All right. So what we're going to do, we got to learn to start thinking that way first. So I want to go ahead and get right into this tonight. If you missed the other 3 webinars this week, my name is Brian Bean. I own a training company called Mentor to Millions, where we focus on 2 primary areas of your life, right? 1 is personal empowerment, and 2 is economic empowerment. And we use our company and our vehicle, which is My Econ, that stands for My Economy. We teach wealth principles all over the country, and we got people going from foreclosure to 7-figure accounts, right? Not the pie in the sky and the 1 or 2 people making money. No, we teach you how to shift your mindset first so you can grow your net worth and shift your income second. And what I want to do tonight is take you guys on a journey with webinar number 4 and show you guys different aspects of wealth and what wealthy people do that broke people just don't do. So if you go back on my timeline yesterday, the day before, and the day before, you'll see 3 other webinars just like this. So what we did was, give you a quick recap, in webinar 1, we talked primarily about the 4 things that keep people from succeeding. And I'll give you a quick 5-minute recap on that. Webinar number 2, which was Tuesday, I put more emphasis on the 5 streams of income that you want to create. It's called strategic alignment. You have to start lining your efforts up where one effort at one time generates 4 or 5 different income streams for you, from taxes to debt to expenses to business income. Last night, I spent a lot of time on the concept of income shifting. Okay? The power of getting positive cash flow, opening a business, and then putting that money from the cash flow and business into investments. I spent a lot of time last night on income shifting itself, the art of shifting it. Because honestly, that's what got me back on my feet. If you missed my story, I lost my first $1 million in my 20s because nobody taught me a strategy. Nobody sat there and said, Brian, avoid getting audited at all costs. So guess what? I got audited. Nobody sat there and said, Brian, every $5 you make, you want to invest $3 and learn how to live off $2. And that way you'll wake up and the $3 generated way more than you could have ever imagined in interest. Nobody taught me that. They taught me at Morehouse, they put the credit card table at the front, and they know you're a broke college student, barely making it, and next thing you know, you run up a bunch of credit cards, and you got student loans, and you got a job that won't pay the credit cards or the student loans. That's what I learned. So I don't know about you guys, but I want to give my family a head start. So those are the previous 3 webinars. You can go on my timeline on Facebook, and you can see those. Tonight, I'm going to focus on something different. And I never really planned. That's the funny thing about it. I don't know what I want to focus on tonight, but when the spirit hits me, I'm going to let it, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. What we've done so far, for you guys that are just joining us, somehow Facebook hung up on me a second ago, so I'm letting it rebuild. But we're just typing in, if you had it your way, how many years left before you fire your boss? I saw some people say 3. I saw some people say 1, right? I want you to put that down, and you can do it. You can focus on it. I retired when I was 22 years old and fired my boss. That was over 20 years ago. I want you guys to realize that retirement is not some age. It's a time frame. It's a time frame. Webinar number 3 yesterday really hit that. Cash flow is a time frame. So give me that. Willie says 2. Okay, Sabria, welcome, welcome, welcome. I saw some questions and I'll hit those later. So let's make this happen. We got 2 main objectives right now when it comes to your finances. Remember, most people aim at nothing, so they hit it every time. Hook, line, and sinker. What I want you guys to do is be more intentional. More people put time into the wedding than they actually do the marriage. See? And the problem is, in your wedding, you know the rose petals, and you know you're going to have little Keisha with her cute little dress and sprinkle down the color rose petals that you pick, and then y'all gonna jump the broom, and then afterwards we're gonna electric slide, and see, all that's planned out. But man, people don't ever plan the marriage. They got the wedding down pat. See, that's the mentality of people, and that's the problem. We need to have a plan for your money, or someone else will. So webinar 2, I really hit this. Your 2 goals are simple. You go to your job or you start a business to meet your current lifestyle. But if you don't want to work for the rest of your life, you got to have a future lifestyle. And that future lifestyle has to be paid for with investments. You see? So current lifestyle equals labor, future lifestyle equals investments. The problem is most people don't have enough money in the current, so they're not even thinking about the future. And the next thing you know, guess what happens? Old man future pops up. And he says, I'm here. I want you to put this in notes. I want you to put this in the comments. Father Time is undefeated. And the minute you realize what that means it's time for you to stop waiting to go on vacation. It's time for you to stop waiting to go see your loved ones. It's time for you to stop waiting to tell the people you love that you love them. You know, if you're a friend of mine right now, you're on Facebook, hell, even if you're an enemy, I just want to let you know I love you. I'm learning as I get older to just get stuff off my chest. Let's have a I love you in the comments just to get it off your chest. When's the last time somebody told you that, right? But Father Time is undefeated. That's why I'm saying that. You never know all the stuff you putting off. You don't know if you're ever going to be able to do it. So you got to start investing now so that your future won't look like your present. Now here's the problem. Most people don't have enough money to invest. And people think investing is hard. You see? People think investing is hard. And that's a trick. That's a trick that capitalists use to keep you blind and to keep you unworried about your future. Because if I can get you to think investments are hard, and if the bank can get you to think you got to follow their advice, and if the government can get you to think that you need a tax refund, and if these little loan companies they put in poor neighborhoods can get you to think that if you just give me your title, I'll give you a loan, and they'll tell you if you don't pay it back, they own 3 times that amount plus your car. See, if I can just get you to think that money's difficult, you won't focus on it. So what we do is we pull the wool back and say, look, it's not hard. Number one, put your money in things that outpace inflation. Put that in your notes. I must outpace inflation. That's number one. You got to outpace inflation. Inflation means the value of your dollar drops every day. So typically inflation is about 4%. So if you got your money in a checking account, you are hustling backwards. If you have your money in a savings account, you are hustling backwards. I've never been able to do the moonwalk, but this your money. Whatever it is. You hustling backwards. Your money's going backwards. Why? Because you put your money in something that's bringing you 1% and inflation is 4%. That means your money's losing 3% every day. Late fees come out of your account. Monthly minimums come out your account. Overdraft fees come out of your account. All these fees come out your account. Hell, I'll be better off putting my money under my mattress before I let these entities continue to take it. That's just the way it works. So you got to put your money in something that outpaces inflation. Number 2 is taxes. Let me say this, look in your eyes. This is not tax evasion. This is not tax avoidance, okay? This is called tax minimization. Wealthy people don't overpay their taxes. What the poor and middle class do is they let the government take all the taxes out of their check, go invest the money, and then get a tax refund, and then hope that next year they do something with the tax refund. Newsflash, by the time inflation hits your money next year, the refund you got this year, based on last year's money, is not worth what you thought it was worth anyway. You see the vicious cycle? Now, because the taxes come out, then you got debt. You see, put this in your notes. Taxes cause debt. I always do this example because it's profound. The government kicking you in the head, I would say in the ass, but I said that last week or Tuesday. And then the banks kick you in the stomach because the government took the money off the top in taxes, and then the banks take the money off the bottom in interest, because what people try to do, they try to get back the tax dollars they lost. So if you make $80,000 and you take home $66,000, you're trying to figure out where in the world am I going to get the $14,000 that I lost. It's actually going to be more than that, right? But you're trying to get the money back, the $14,000 that you lost. So guess what? You put it on the credit card. You put it on student loans. You see? You put it on the car note. You put it on the mortgage. Because if you actually got a larger percentage of the money that you gross, you wouldn't have to borrow so much. So what happens is the government again goes boom, the banks go boom. So you steady getting rocked back and forth. And then you got big business. Big business is called big business for a reason. They have tricked the consumer into thinking that the number one thing you have to do is bring your money to them. So the colors, the music, the smell, I don't care what nobody says. When you walk in Best Buy, it just says buy something. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you download an MP3 from Best Buy, the little cars they got now. Man, you walk in there, they got that blue and yellow. They got all those flat screens just screaming. I don't even need one, but I'm like, I think I need a new TV, right? You got computer equipment. Apple over there in the corner. Verizon in that corner. Best Buy just screams, come see me if you're a gadget person. So big business, they know how to do it. Everything from the way it's set up in the stores, the colors they use, the time of day the commercials run, the nice looking people in the commercials, the mindset and the psychology of the commercials is designed for the consumer to think you have to have that item right now. And as long as you have a right now attitude, you'll never get wealthy. From a consumer standpoint, you can't have I gotta have that today. I need that purse right now. I need those shoes right now. I need that laptop right now. I gotta have that iPad right now. I gotta have that Samsung Android right now. See, when you have a right now mentality, you stay broke now. When you have wait a minute, let me invest in these companies that I'm also spending my money in, let me own a piece of it too, then you got a long-term mentality. See, put this in your notes, put this in the comments. It is okay to delay gratification. It's okay. We live in such a microwave society. See, YouTube, you can upload something right now. Facebook, you can post a picture, a video right now. Instagram, post a photo right now. Dispatch Uber, the driver comes within 5 minutes. Your food is cold, microwave right now. The problem with wealth, the gratification is often delayed. And you got a right now generation trying to get wealthy. That's why everybody broke. Let me say that again. The problem is you got a right now generation trying to get wealthy, and wealth is often delayed gratification. Put that in the comments. I am okay with the delay. Let's see who's doing it. Put that in the comments. I am okay with the delay. It's okay. I see you, Erica. I see you, Christy. It is okay. Nina said it. You got to be okay with that. You got to be okay with that. So, what we're going to do tonight, real quick, is talk about strategy over sales. Most people can't sell anything. They don't have the ability. They don't have the endurance. They don't have the willpower to overcome rejection. So no matter what MLM you join, no matter what sales pitch you get, most people will never be good at the art of sales because they don't have charisma or persuasion. But everybody I talk to can plug some numbers into a strategy and let that strategy start working for them. And see, that's the key. Your strategy has to start working for you. Now, why is this important? Because wealthy people use this concept called income shifting. You also hear me refer to it as cash, asset, cash. The reason this is important is because this is the dinner table discussion most of us never had. See, we always wonder, man, why do wealthy people just seem like everything they touch turns to gold? It's because they have a different mindset. They say to themselves, okay, first I got to get some cash. That's strategy, what we call strategy number 1. Strategy 2 is you got to open up a business. And then strategy 3 is we take the money from strategy 1, the cash flow we created, the money from strategy 2, and we start investing with strategy number 3. And I think that's what I want to do tonight. I said I'm going to let the spirit hit me. So now I want to talk about the power of strategy 2, the power of business ownership. But let me put it in context for you. The business is the one, like if this is a seesaw, the business is the middle. It's the core of this whole strategy. You can't even get to number 3 if you don't start a business. See, everybody starts off with a W-2, and that's fine. I told you on webinar 1, you can go back to my page and see it. Be thankful for your job, but not satisfied. I think that's the first thing I said on webinar 1. Be thankful, but not satisfied. Go back to Monday on my on my Facebook page, and you'll see it. So nothing wrong with a job. But what happens is the job has to supply the money necessary for you to start something on your own. You have to start a business, guys. Everybody you look up to once, like let's use Oprah. Let's just use Oprah for, everybody's familiar with her story. So first she started as a newscaster, right? I believe in Mississippi, if I'm not mistaken, or Alabama. I think Mississippi. Started off working a job as a newscaster. Now, even when she had the Oprah Winfrey show, that was still a high-paying job. See, there's nothing wrong with a job. But at some point, she had to graduate, right? I think after 20 seasons or 25 seasons or something ridiculous, she said, you know what? I now own Harpo Studios. I'll never own the rights to the Oprah Winfrey show. So what I'll do is I'll own my own network. OWN. That's still the coolest brand I've ever seen. Oprah Winfrey Network. Then I'll get other shows to come see my producers and be on my network. Instead of me being a show on somebody else's network, why not just own the whole thing? That's when she hit $1 billion status. You understand? Everybody that you look up to, I'm not a big fan. I love Michael Jordan as a basketball player. I'm not a big fan of him as a man, from what I understand and have gathered over the years. But as a basketball player, one of the best ever. Well, first, he had a W-2, high paying, dribble the basketball. Now he owns a team. When are you going to graduate to ownership? When are you going to graduate to ownership? even some of the things that you purchase. When are you going to start owning a piece of those companies? Put that in the comments. It's time for me to graduate. Okay? Put that in the comments. It's time for me to graduate. See, I built other people's companies for years. I was one of the best. When I started my career, what retired me was the industry of network marketing. I was one of the best networkers at 19, 20, 21, 22 years old you've ever seen. Made more money in my 20s than some people will ever make in 2 decades. But what I understood was, okay, at some point, why am I making all these people wealthy when I need to own my own company? So I started my own training company. But I had to have a vehicle first that allowed me to do it. When are you going to start owning something? You see, until you get this, you'll never, ever, ever get wealthy. 67% of a wealthy person's net worth comes from the things that they own. 67%. Now, when you own something and it brings you capital gains or dividends or appreciation, it's not taxed the same as labor, overtime, and retirement. It's not taxed the same. See, money making money is taxed different than labor making money. But you don't get to money making money unless you own something. You gotta own something. This is the word I was looking for earlier. This is the pivotal point right here, which is ownership. So when I started understanding, okay, wait a minute. Here's how this works. Think about what the government does. Every time they want you to take an action in this country, they give you a tax break. You see? So if they want you to get married, you get a deduction for being a married couple because they're encouraging people to get married. Then they encourage you again to what? Be fruitful and multiply and have children, because your children become tax deductions. The marriage itself, every year you can say I'm married. That's a tax deduction. If you own a house and I'm renting, we can live right next door to each other. Your interest is tax deductible. A lot of people throw this term around loosely, but tax deductible means if I make $80,000 and I deduct everything that's legal, ethical, and moral, and I have $20,000 worth of deductions, you tax me on 60 instead of 80. So I lowered the amount of money I give to the federal government. But the federal government says, here are the deductions you can subtract so that you can give them less. So if the government gives you deductions for owning a business, they must want you to have one. You see? Because everywhere else in this country that they want you to do something, they give you tax incentives. Own a house, the interest is deductible. Rent, no deductions. You see? Own a business, cell phone, deductible. Cell phone non-business owner, not deductible. So I get to subtract a bill that we both have. So if you put me and you side by side, now again, tonight is about ownership. Let's put me and you side by side. You have a cell phone and a business. I have a cell phone, no business. At the end of the year, your $100 times 12, $1,200 just came off your taxable income. You lowered it. You got the internet and a business. I got the internet, no business. You multiply your internet bill times 12, tax deductible. Square footage in your house. You got a movie theater in your house, you doing presentations, or you got an office downstairs that you set up where you making phone calls, or you got gas in your car where you marketing your business, or you're helping people understand, or a drum up business, whatever, you're eating out, drumming up business. You got all those things. You get to subtract all of that from your taxable income and get the government less. I drive a car too. I got a house too. I got a room but not an office because I don't have no business. We got the same stuff, but yours cuts into the taxable income you have, which means more money's in your pocket. Mine just goes out the door and they tax me like I don't have a business. So if the government is giving you tax breaks, get a business. You got to get a business. People say, I don't have a business. Well, that's what we're going to show you tonight. You see, I'm not here to sell you. I want to educate you on how this works, because until we teach our children this, they'll never get over the strategy number 3, where the money starts working for them. You got to start making excuses. Okay? Excuses are tools of incompetence and bridges to nothingness, and people that dwell on them seldom amount to anything. Remember that. Excuses are tools of incompetence and bridges to nothingness, and people that dwell on them seldom amount to anything. You can't make excuses. That's why I wanted to wear this shirt tonight. It just hit me. I'm running late for your pity party. You can't excuse your way to the top of nothing. Brian, I ain't have a fair chance. Nobody taught me about business. My father wasn't in my life. My mother wasn't in my life. You don't know my story. We all have a story. But you can't have the same excuse 20 years later in this information age where you know better. You now know that one of the keys to getting to money that you don't work for is the tax savings of a business. And then check this out, since tonight is business night. The government treats your home-based business with the same laws, if you will, if you own the dry cleaner, brick and mortar, McDonald's, brick and mortar, the nail salon, brick and mortar. That means the place that you visit. You can get the same deductions, if not more. They expanded those deductions. Congress passed those laws to spread those same deductions to you, the business owner, if you would take advantage of it. So, we already know they want you to own a business, or they wouldn't reward you for doing so. You ever notice, why do business owners get an extension to the end of the year to take care of their tax, to file taxes? You can go all the way to October. But if you got a W-2, you better have this stuff in by April or whatever. Right? You better have that stuff in. But business owners get all the way to the end of the year. Why? Because the business owners provide the jobs for the employees. So they know business owners get the breaks. They get the extensions. They get the higher caps. Like, for example, do you know that there's a cap on how much you can put in your retirement account if you have a W-2? Right? It's like 14,000, 21,000. It varies, but between it used to be 14,000 years ago. Like 17,000, 21,000 cap. Business owner, 400% more. See, they allow business owners to even invest more without penalty. You can put way more in your SEP IRA or your Simple or your what's the other one? SEP, Simple. I'm drawing a blank. Roth. You can put more in your business IRA than an employee can in their 401k. Why? That's a perk you get for being a business owner. They give you all the perks here. See, let me make sure this is clear. Type this in the comments and make sure you can still hear me. Type, I want the perks. Type in, I want the perks. This is important because without the perks, you're done. I want the perks. And the perks are simple. The reason you get the perks is simple. Again, tonight we're focusing on the importance of becoming a business owner. Everybody that knows anything about history knows this. America broke away from the Great British Army. It's going to sound boring, but it's not. Broke away from the Great British Army, the biggest, baddest army in the world, because they got upset. And you know what the revolutionaries that started this country got upset about? Taxes. Isn't that ironic? This whole American Revolution was over taxes. So they broke away from Britain, discovered this land called America, even though it had occupants already on it. But that's another train. Had occupants on this land, so they didn't discover nothing. But that's okay. For the sake of this conversation, they came over here and teach your children better than that. But we know what we mean here. Now, why in the world then did they bring the same laws that they ran from? You got upset with Britain about the taxes. Okay, So then Britain followed them over here and got into a big, American Revolutionary War over taxes. Remember the big Tea Party, dumped the tea, and then all that was over taxes. So what happened was it's simple. In Britain, you either were a lord or a servant. That means you either work for somebody you either own land or you work for somebody that had some. So there was a caste system. Owner of land or work for somebody who does. In America, they changed it to capitalism, and you either have a business or you work for somebody who does. Both entities cannot get the break. So in this country, the break goes to the owner. That's why all these perks I'm talking about you get. You see? They can't give the employee the same perks that they give the business owner, or there's no incentive to own a business. But what they tell you is go get a good job where you pay the highest taxes. They don't tell you to get a business where you pay the lowest taxes, or a lower tax. And then this person here, which is making money, pays the least amount of taxes because the people that make the laws are typically wealthy. So they're going to do what benefits them. You got to think about that. If the people that are making the laws got money, they're not going to say, look, let's tax us the most. If that's the case, this will be flipped. This will be the lowest tax, and that will be the highest tax. No, making money is not taxed the same. So how much of your money are you making without working? It amazes me when people brag on how much money they make. I make 6 figures. I make $250,000 a year. I make whatever. I'm like, well, you should. That's congratulations. But you're working, so I hope they're paying you for those hours you're taking away from your family. Write this in the notes. Put this in the comments. It's time to brag on the money I make not working. It's time to brag on the money you make not working. See? So this is webinar 4 this week. I've done one every night of the week, and I'm emphasizing something different. Tonight I want to emphasize the business. So we teach you for $49, less than $50, man. The strategies we show you, how to hire your children, how to get the tax deductions, how to get double-digit rates of return on investments. We teach you the strategy. Then we give you the software as a business owner to implement that strategy. Then we give you the system, the commission checks, the website, the hosting fee, the marketing. We take care of all that for you, and that leads to your success for $34.95 a month. Now, I hope y'all put that in the comments. How much money are you making not working? That's the question. Again, strategy, software, system, success. Brian, what is this $34.95? Stop thinking everything is a bill. Okay? Strategy, software, system, success. A bill is when some money goes out and you don't see anything from it. An investment is where money goes out and you see you see a lot from it. So that's what this covers. You are now an educator. You can teach people now the power of income shifting. You can teach people now the power of owning a business. You can teach people now the difference between positive cash flow and negative cash flow. Like I talked about yesterday. Click that webinar for our cash flow examples. So you get with the person who introduced you to this presentation, and they'll show you how to take $49 and $34 a month and start a multi-million-dollar business. So we pay you every single week. We pay you override bonuses. We pay you residual income. If you choose to refer it, you don't have to. You can just accept the tax benefits of being a business owner, and you can take your money and start investing it. But if you want to refer the business, we pay every Friday. Tomorrow, payday, another paycheck. Right? Residual income every single month. If you have residual bills, you should have residual income paying. I've been very, very fortunate. I see 5-figure weeks. I want you guys to understand, man, at a job, I was not making 5 figures a week. All because I changed my mindset. To get a $10,000 check, $14,000, $16,000 check for 7 to 10 days worth of work, Do you know my job? Do you know my job? That was every 4 months. Like, it would have taken me 4 months to make that kind of money. Now, because I changed my mindset. That's why all week, man, I've been telling people about millionaire mentality. It's a free keto that I'm giving away this week called Millionaire Mentality. Go to this website. This is important. If you go to trainwithbnb.com, click sign up, and then go check your email and your spam. Get Millionaire Mentality, man. Those philosophies changed my life. It's a free keynote that I'm giving away all week because I want you to understand that the change in your mind starts here. Once you get with the person who introduced you to this video, to this webinar, if you're watching, they're going to show you how to take the $49, the $34.95 a month, get all the tax deductions and increase your cash flow. They're going to show you how to get the business income. What I do is I teach people personal growth and self-development and the mindset necessary to make that business happen. And I'm just giving you a gift for taking the time out. 4 nights in a row, man. Congratulations to everybody who saw all 4. But train with BNB. Click sign up. Then go check your email and spam for your activation link, and then go watch the video. I didn't start making money until I got this right, because I had some bad habits when it came to money, right? I had a different philosophy when it came to money, and I had to change that. So, with that being said, I want to just recap. Webinar number 1, we talked about the 4 things keeping you from succeeding. I didn't spend a lot of time on that tonight, but you need to go see that from Monday night. Webinar number 2, I talked about the income streams and the power of having strategic alignment and having taxes, debt, and expenses, business income, and investments, all 5 working for you. That's webinar number 2. Webinar number 3, I talked about income shifting, positive cash flow versus negative cash flow, and how to get the income necessary to start moving in the right direction positively. And then tonight, I wanted to spend more time on the importance of owning a business, OWN ownership, and the mindset it takes. And every night, you got this free keynote waiting on you. And I hope you enjoy Millionaire Mentality. When you watch it, put some stuff under the comments and let me know what you think about it. Again, train with BNB. B as in Brian, N as in never, ask me what that means, and B as in Bean. Click the word that says sign up, and then check your spam, and you'll see it come right up on your board, and enjoy Millionaire Mentality. Hey, who knows? I may do another 4 in a row in the next couple of weeks or so. I'm gearing up for Game Changer, which is March 1st through 3rd. You'll see that up in my comments on my Facebook wall. Game Changer is an event we do every 4 months where leaders from all over the country come in and we train you and we show you different aspects of money and different aspects of mindset. So we'll see you guys at Game Changer. If you haven't registered, go ahead and make sure you take care of that registration as well. My name is Brian B, and I'll see you guys in the magazines, and I'll let you know when I return with another webinar. Have a good night.